So in working with FBI and other law enforcement officials, they were able to track down where our data was exfiltrated to. It was taken to a company that was US based, which is an anomaly because a lot of times it goes to foreign-based servers, but this was on a US server. And so we pursued with that company and asked them for our data back. They had pause, and so we did not have pause. We went through the court systems and we said, hey, this is our data, we want it back. And the judge agreed with us, granted a restraining order, a temporary restraining order for us to get complete access to that data. So we then brought that data back. We believe that this was a significant step into containing the damage related to exfiltration of the data. We don't believe identity theft occurred. We've had sources monitoring the dark web, and we don't believe it has made it there, and it's because of the efforts with the FBI and our legal staff and our consultants of getting that data back and bringing it back to Apex. It's kind of the stages of the cyber event that we went through. In the beginning, obviously, it was triage, then focus on rebuilding our systems, working with law enforcement as they did their investigation. And then when they had leads in that investigation and came to us and said, hey, we know where your data is, we pursued it through the courts. Obviously, that takes a little bit of time to go through that process. Then once we did get that data back, it was kind of like 52 card pickup. They said, here's your data back, and threw 3 terabytes of data at us. So then we had to go through that data. We had to get a third-party vendor to help us go through that data and try to determine what personal information was taken from the town. And that took some time, and we had to make sure we got it right because we got additional data back that wasn't even the towns that we had to sift through. And so there were a lot of complications as we went through that data to figure out exactly what was taken and who it related to. Once we got that information, that's where we are today, going through and making those notifications. So it took some time, but it was a process from the actual attack to now. Yeah, so the cyber attack is no longer impacting utility billing. That was an immediate couple-day thing. We had delayed bills, actually a couple-month thing. We had some delayed bills in the beginning, but since then, what's impacted utility billing has been the rebuilding of our system. So cyber attack happened, we contained it, and then we immediately started to rebuild. But the rebuilding of those systems is how we process the data that comes from the meters. So we've always maintained an ability to read the data from the meters. It's been that processing and pushing through our different systems to get that bill output that's been impacted. With that have been some challenges to the bills. We acknowledge that completely. It has been a headache for our residents. It's been a headache for our staff. It's been a headache all around. Not losing sight of what triggered this originally was that cyber event, right? And that caused us to accelerate the new systems that we have to build. So then as we built these systems, we had to compress the timeline. Normally this happens over multi-years, and we had to compress it into a few months to get those systems live and operational. So with that, we had to make some decisions. An example is we had to take a lot of the canned products that they give us. So the bill that you see, that was the one off the shelf. And now, as our residents have experienced that, there's a need to customize it and to show different things to our solar customers. Some of that data is not showing up like we want to, but that's what we're working on now and getting into that higher level of making things a little more user-friendly for our customers. But it has been a process because we also redid our systems, then we changed out all of our water meters, and we've changed out our electric meters. We're in that process. It'll continue through the end of the year. So a complete redo of all of our infrastructure related to utility billing, from systems to meters. And it's a big undertaking, again, that many organizations take on over many years, and we've compressed it into 2 years or less for the most part. All that said, what we're here for today does tie back to the cyber event. And that relates to the data that was exfiltrated or taken from the town. And it's actually, I believe it's a good story to tell because of how the town got aggressive and went after the data and to pull it back to the town. So we worked with the FBI and other local law enforcement entities, and they tracked the data to a US-based company, which is not by chance because we had certain security protocols put in place that would only allow data to go to a US-based source instead of a foreign source. And because it was contained in a US-based company, we were able to, number one, we asked for it back. They said no, but because it was US based, we were able to utilize our court system, and we got a temporary restraining order that then gave us access to our data, and we were able to bring all that data back to the town. And so to me, that's the great story, is we believe that there's no evidence right now of identity theft. Technically, it was taken from the town, and so we have reporting requirements, and that's what we're talking about today. But there's no evidence, and we've had companies monitoring. We've been monitoring, as well as having vendors in place monitor the dark web to see if any of that information makes it there. And there's no evidence at this time that shows that that data has made it to the dark web. So we believe that by being aggressive, we were able to contain that data and bring it back to the town. So there are a lot of protocols in place, and if you were interviewing my IT director, she would be able to rattle off all the technical details of that. What I can tell you is that we built from a new clean system. So we had a good clean foundation. We had the National Guard, we had the Cybersecurity Task Force. We've had a lot of people look at our system and review our security protocols. We've done third-party vendor testing. So we've done a lot of review and testing on getting those protocols in place. But it started all with a new clean foundation and then building our system from there.